Hello, and thank you for tuning in today to my review of the new BenQ X3100 4K HDR 4 LED flagship console gaming projector that's coming in at a burly price tag of $2399.99. But what if it's actually worth it? Now, my friends, if you are new to the channel and you enjoyed today's video, please like it and subscribe as it helps me out a ton in reaching my goal to become a monetized channel. Now, before I get into the introduction, please note that I've included timestamp chapters for the entire video. That's especially important because I've included a little over 1 hour of footage to help you experience what a variety of different types of media look like on this lovely projector, and it's all been captured in 4K at 60 frames per second. I've got everything from the Analogue NT 1080p Nintendo to the PlayStation 5, sports, Blu-ray, and Blu-ray 4K movies. I've got you covered so you can easily skip around in the timeline and select the specific type of video game or media that you're interested in seeing. Now, with that said, let me give you guys a quick background on myself. I think it's important for you to know that I'm a huge videophile and that even though this is my first projector review on my channel, I've played video games, watched live sports and movies on both consumer and commercial grade home projectors, dating all the way back to the year 2001, where I have very fond memories of playing Crazy Taxi for Sega Dreamcast on my bedroom wall when I was a sophomore in high school. Since then, I've always had a genuine interest and followed the projector scene in hopes that one day a company would make a projector built specifically for playing video games, and that hopefully when and if that day ever came, I would be able to afford it. Now, thankfully, a handful of companies have decided to enter the video game projector scene, and in the last 3 to 5 years, I've actually bought and tested a small handful of projectors prior to even starting my YouTube channel. Now, with each projector I purchased, I ultimately ended up returning it within the given return policy window because something just wasn't quite up to par on the projector. And I don't know about you, but if I'm going to shell out the amount of money it costs to own a luxury item like a video gaming projector, I really need to be in love with it. So in the last 2 years, I purchased the BenQ X3100i, which at the time it was labeled as the world's first 4 LED gaming projector with cinematic experience. I also tried the Optima UHD 38 4K projector, and I tried the Samsung Premier 4K UHD single laser wireless ultra short throw projector, all ranging from $1,200 to $2,500 in price. Each projector had something that I just wasn't willing to live with for the price. Either it didn't have true 4K or it was a pain to calibrate the projector colors, and even after it was calibrated, the colors still didn't look right, or the projector fan sounded like a jet was taking off in my living room, and then when I'd hook up my PS5, it sounded like a war was going on in my living room, or it didn't have built-in speakers, or worst of all, it had input lag, and I just cannot accept input lag. But as you can probably see, even after all these years, I've never stopped trying to find the perfect gaming projector, and that's why I'm so excited to give you my review today of the new X3100i. Now, for me, I've always felt when it comes to display technology that seeing is actually believing. So for this video, I've done my absolute best to deliver you high quality 4K 60 frame per second video clips that were captured on my GoPro to help you experience what it's like to play your favorite video games from the NES to the PlayStation 5 era, from Blu-ray to 4K Blu-ray movies and live sports on a huge 150-inch screen. These videos were taken so you can witness for yourself the color accuracy, so you can listen to the sound quality coming out of the two 5-watt Trevolo speakers, which actually blew me away because I never thought 10 watts could accomplish what they do, and to illustrate the refresh rate. And although I didn't take footage showing my actual controller input, I can assure you with 100% certainty and confidence that this projector has no felt input lag. So I've been playing video games, guys, since like the late 1980s, and I think it's safe to say that I'm pretty sensitive to input lag. If I go to a friend's or family member's house and we're playing something like NBA 2K, Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, or Call of Duty, you name it, and I sense input lag, I'm pausing the game and fixing their TV settings before the game gets unpaused. So with that said, I think I'm very well suited to review this projector for you guys. Now, you might be unfamiliar with a few of the console names listed on the demo videos, depending on your level of video game nerdom. But the first one here is the Analogue NT. And this is a full 1080p Nintendo using FPGA and original Nintendo hardware. So if you're wondering how this differentiates from the NES Classic Edition, this is 1080p, the NES Classic Edition, as well as the Super Nintendo Classic Edition, run at 720p. So we're going to be getting the best image possible here with the Analogue NT. Next, we have, of course, the Analogue Super NT. Same thing, Super Nintendo, running at 1080p. And then we have my Nintendo 64. And if you guys see it here, it looks completely normal, right? Well, this is RGB modded, and that essentially allows you to play N64 games with a sharper image and better colors that are associated with your RGB red, green, blue component cables versus a stock Nintendo 64 that comes with your standard composite video, which is your yellow, red, white cables. Additionally, I hooked up the Nintendo 64 using something called the Retrotink 5X. And without getting into too much detail, because there's so much I could go into, but it's essentially a high-resolution video scaler that allows you to achieve higher overall picture quality when using retro gaming consoles on modern flat-screen TVs, including projectors. Additionally, I will be using these extremely high-quality cables from a company called HD Retrovision, and you can see here the RGB cables I will be plugging in to the back of the Retrotink, and then I'll be hooking up an HDMI cable and plugging that in directly to the projector to achieve the highest picture quality possible. And you kind of have to do this for the Nintendo 64 because, again, if you try hooking this up to a modern day flat screen television, it's going to be a poor experience. It's very blurry. The aspect ratio is never right. It does not look good. So you may think I'm going through a lot of trouble here, but I'm really not. And one thing I must say is the Retrotink 5X does not add any input lag to the experience. So you'll see in the demo videos, but I had zero input lag on the 64, which was awesome. All right, guys, so real quick, I got one housekeeping item. I want you, the viewer, to know that I have absolutely no affiliation whatsoever with BenQ, and BenQ did not send me this projector to review. I actually bought this projector with my own money and out of my own genuine interest. So, with all of that out of the way, let's dive right into the time-stamped chapter demo footage for you to experience, and then after the footage, you'll find my review and final thoughts on the X3100i.
To the NBA on Thursday night. Kobe and Durant, they're the forwards. And it's Nurkic in at the 5, down low. All right, Richard, how much stock do you put in the preseason in terms of indicating how good a team will be in the regular season?
None at all. Absolutely none whatsoever. The preseason, that's pickup basketball. That's just guys getting their bones and joints loose. The regular season.
So Phoenix will get the first possession. Beal outside. The kick to Durant. Knocks it down from... And Grant, the Nuggets are in uncharted territory this year. They are the defending champs.
Yeah, BA. I mean, they'll have a target on their back all season. They retain most of their talent and core.
Nurkic to screen on Murray. Beal with it. And Jokic picks him up defensively. And he'll draw a foul. He'll head to the line for 2.
And now he's part of a deadly trio. And you know, his numbers, BA, might drop, but the wins should be much more plentiful.
Free throw drops for Beal. Lots can be said about Bradley Beal's scoring, Grant, but there's more to his game than that.
Yeah, BA, I mean, the shooting is just the most eye-catching part. He also averages solid assist numbers and plays at a high effort level off ball or on defense.
And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time. Okogie pulls down the board. The Suns leading. Beal with it. Caldwell both covering. Durant for 3. Sends it home from 3-point land. The Suns clear. Nurkic has got 4 rebounds now. Beal the pass to Durant. And Durant with the big finish.
Okay, normally the guy is a sleeper, but those were 2 loud points there by Kevin Durant.
Timeout call the Nuggets.
island. I've never seen that before. I could get a closer look from the sky. Carefully. electricity, no way.
There's some guy snooping around town, acting like he's always
Sounds like these, you gotta live it up.
I don't know. I kind
spraying bullets all over the range. You don't end up hitting the damn thing and it makes you look like an ass. Private Allen, show them what I'm talking about. Grab that weapon off the table and fire at the targets behind you. Turn around and fire at the targets. Your sights from a stable stance. Private Allen, show our friends here how the Rangers take down a target. Crouch first, then aim down your sight at the target. Private Allen, aim down your sights before engaging the target. That's all there is to it. You can snap to it quickly by aiming down your sights. Now that's how you do it.
I'll be watching, keeping him honest. Spider-Man, since I know you're listening, imagine my eyes on you everywhere you go. I mean, not like the shower, that would be weird. Or the bathroom. Let's go to commercial.
local units, an assault was just reported. Be advised. Report came in from Morningside Ice. Over.
We reserve the right to refuse service and knock out any criminals. Says so right on the sign.
Report of a break-in. Unknown suspects are armed. Nearest officer, please proceed to Manhattan.
Tonight's matchup, Bulls versus Nets. Yeah! Heating up! He's on fire! Local top and rock will die. Aim for his back. No! Quit moving around. Do something. Stop moving so I can watch it. No! My Emperor! I failed you! We're heading out. All aircraft report.
Select your watercraft, please. Welcome to Sunny Beach.
And that's a good opportunity for the Diamondbacks to score runs.
He hit only 6 during the regular season, and he wasn't hitting at all in this postseason. But one swing changed all that.
10 home runs now for these Diamondbacks in the postseason, and from the most unlikely hitter in their lineup, Perdomo.
Perdomo, who you think doesn't present as much of a threat. Lynn doesn't want to fall behind.
Out of the third.
2-0 Diamondbacks, making 11 home runs. Was that ball ever launched?
And that was a trick measure shot.
Just a cutter that he never got in, just a spinner over the middle of the plate. Marte knew right away.
He missed one shot, a home run to right field his first time. Off the ball caught on the warning track in front of the field.
Walker.
Boy, was that ball crushed. Listen to this crowd. They're loving every swing.
Unbelievable sight to see. They're toe-to-toe. The Russian towers above the American. It's the true case of David and Goliath here. It's unbelievable the condition of those men.
$130,000. Get the fuck out of here! No, I cannot. It's serious because it's very important. Base.
Have you ever sold one of these?
Sell it just tonight to a collector. Get the fuck out of here! Serious, I said it myself.
We do not train to be merciful here. Mercy is for the weak. Here, on the street, in competition, a man confronts you, he is the enemy. An enemy deserves no mercy. What is the problem, Mr. Lawrence?
Ik mam spaghettis. Wait, not yet.
Class, we have visitors. Fall in behind me. Ice!
All right, friends, I hope that after watching all or some of the footage, that you walked away with a better understanding for what the projector looks like in person. Now, it's never going to be as good as what it looks like in person. Just like when you see the perfect sunset and you try to take a picture or a video of it and it never looks as good as it did in person. So taking videos of projectors is no different, but I did my absolute best to showcase the colors, speaker sound quality, refresh rate, input lag, and overall picture quality on a giant 150-inch screen. Alright guys, so to jump into the review, let me tell you first off, the X3100i is unequivocally the best gaming projector I've ever owned, and it's not even close. I don't know about you guys, but I've watched Back to the Future and Rocky IV at least 500 times. I've seen them in the theater, on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and Blu-ray 4K on a variety of high-quality Sony XBR TVs, and these movies have never looked this good on the BenQ 3100i projector. And because I've watched them so much, they were the perfect films to demonstrate color accuracy for me because I know exactly how each scene should look. I've had projectors in the past where the colors were clearly off to where bright yellows looked mustardy or deep reds had an orange tint to them. Based on the demo footage captured and provided in the review, I couldn't find any color inconsistencies, and that is a first for me. Now, because I'm a videophile, it takes a lot for me to get excited or be impressed about a product. I always want to be excited about a product, but I just can't like fake the funk. Like if I'm not into it, I can't force myself to be into it. Like I can't talk myself into loving something I only like, and I'm certainly not a settler. Well, let me tell you guys, there's no faking the funk here, my friends. The X3100i is the real deal Holyfield of gaming projectors, and I'm going to tell you a few reasons why. Alright guys, so to best illustrate the reasons why this projector is the new king of gaming projectors, I actually thought it would be best to bring up the product page and talk about some of the details here with you because there's a lot of technical jargon here. There's a lot of advertising, propaganda, and buzzwords everywhere. And I want to tell you guys what actually resonated with me after reading this, getting the projector, actually using it, and then now coming back and doing a review and reading this again because I read over this again, and when I first read it, I'm like, man, this is like so much propaganda here. This is kind of annoying, right? But then after coming back, I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah, there are a lot of buzzwords here, but some of this stuff is true, and it did resonate with me. So I want to go through those details. And one of them right here is talking about the HDR Pro and the cinematic color, the vivid cinematic colors, right? Well, as you guys saw in the review, I actually had so many great things to say about the color variety and the color accuracy of this projector. And the HDR, especially in some of the demo footage I provided, you know, off the top of my head, SpiderMan Remastered, God of War, Ragnarok, and Horizon Forbidden West. Those games, man, the HDR looked insane. So this is legit. The HDR was great and all the colors are great. So I say that is a true statement for sure. So the next thing BenQ talks about on their product page is the audio. They have spatial audio for precision gaming, as it says, and that it uses cinematic sound and virtual surround sound. Yeah, like I said, it has a lot of buzzwords kind of filtered all throughout here, but I made some notes on the sound. You guys probably heard it in the demo footage, and let me tell you, I have an extra Sony soundbar that I actually plan on connecting to the projector's SPDIF port, but I didn't feel it was necessary. I'm happy to say that the built-in Trevolo speakers seriously kick. Like the propaganda on the product page, like I said, it uses a lot of buzzwords that I will read, but I always tread carefully around because it feels and sounds kind of like BS, right? And it mentions that it has Bongovi DPS dynamic audio enhancement and uses cinematic sound, and says you can, quote, explore a new dimension of gaming audio with BenQ's cinematic sound technology, and that our dedicated Bongio DPS enhances audio dynamically to craft a 3D audio realm filled with depth and distance. I think like after I read it the first time, I rolled my eyes and probably said, well, you know, whatever the heck that means. The only way for me to know if it's truly BS or not is for my slightly hard of hearing ears to hear it in person. Now, I don't know if these speakers actually created a new dimension in my house, although that would be extremely cool. But they did exceed what I've ever thought was possible with 10 total speaker watts. And they are the best sounding speakers I've ever heard on a projector. I'm one of those people that have to watch not sports, but definitely movies and TV shows with subtitles in order to understand and follow everything that's being said. And so with that, I consume my media at a pretty loud volume setting, so you can believe when I say that these speakers were enough for me. Again, if I'm having friends over for like a Suns playoff game and everyone's got their own conversation going, I'm gonna break out the soundbar to elevate the sound and experience. But if it's just me and my old lady watching some Netflix or playing some video games, I wouldn't be compelled to hook it up. And I know it's just like 2 extra wires for a soundbar, but seriously, the speakers sound good enough. So another truly helpful and awesome feature is the new BenQ SettingsXchange, which, as stated on the official product page here, it allows you to download expert projector image settings for top games and experience gameplay through the eyes of pros thanks to ready-made profiles. It says share your projector image settings with fellow gamers to help them level their experiences, or you can actually import their settings by downloading them through SettingsXchange. So as you can see here on BenQ's website, you can actually find the best picture setting for 31 different games right now. And here's the page here, and you can see that we got God of War on there, Elden Ring, Horizon, Dre's on there. I don't know if that's a Game of the Year candidate. It was good though. It was a nice free game. We got Baldur's Gate 3, Starfield, Final Fantasy 16, Diablo 4, Zelda. You guys can see what's on here. They got NBA 2K21 and 2K23. I'm not sure what happened to 2K22 and 2K24, but nonetheless, you got some hoops there. You got FIFA on there. And of course, you got your first-person shooters. So really cool, but basically how this works, guys, is there's software in the projector, and it's called the SettingsXchange, where you can actually download it and it will automatically apply these settings to the game you're playing. But you have to download it. Now, if you don't want to download that software, you can also just click on it right here, and it will tell you what to do. Here's the settings right here for Horizon. Or you look at Stray, and you got settings here, and right below it, it has even more tips, and it tells you about the color temperature tuning, and it says, you know, you need to change the red gain to 95. So some of them have that where you change certain elements, like Spider-Man Miles Morales. It says you need to turn up the red saturation to 212 and the blue saturation to 205, and then you got your rest of your settings here. So it's really cool. Like I mentioned before that I had tried other projectors and the colors just never were quite right on most of them, and so this would have been so helpful. But it's still helpful now because obviously I own this projector, and I am going to keep this page bookmarked and check to see how often it's updated. And if I'm about to play a new game, I'm obviously going to go here and make sure that I have the best possible settings. For instance, like I have Final Fantasy 16 in my backlog, so that's definitely a game I'm going to no doubt utilize the best picture settings on by using the SettingsXchange. Now guys, as you could hopefully see in the demo footage, the gameplay is super smooth thanks to a 4K 60Hz or 1080p 240Hz refresh rate. This is very important. I just tested a projector I had bought from Amazon, and the refresh rate definitely was not up to par, and that seriously hindered the experience to the point that it felt like I was playing a internet flash game from like the late 90s, early 2000s. The picture was phenomenal, but it didn't matter because the refresh rate was so low. But with the 3100i, refresh rate is phenomenal, which is why all these games look so damn good. Alright guys, so another point I'd like to bring up is what the new X3100i has improved over BenQ's 2022 flagship gaming projector, which is the X3000i model. So right now I have the product comparison page pulled up here, and I have it to show only the differences. And so I went through here and looked at this in detail, and I'll go through this real quick, guys. But with the new projector, you're getting an extra 300 lumens, you're getting an extra 100,000 contrast ratio, and for Smart Eco mode, which is one of the light source modes you can use, I personally don't use it, but you may want to use it. You're going to get an extra 10,000 hours on the new projector, because last year's model, the Smart Eco mode, only has 20,000 hours. Now I say only, it's a lot of hours, man, but it's still cool that the new projector has an extra 10,000 hours added to it. Another thing that's really cool is a new feature. It's a new technology called the Lens Shift Vertical. And basically it's a knob on the actual projector. And what it does is it helps you vertically line up your projector with your wall or your screen. This is brand new technology. It's not something I've had on any of my previously owned projectors from other brands. And just let me tell you guys, I've used this feature each time I use the projector. It's seriously that helpful. And even in my demo videos, you can see that sometimes my projector image doesn't 100% fill my 150-inch screen, but I was at least able to use the vertical lens shift to help dial in the image. So that was very helpful, and that's a super cool feature. So next, guys, is the picture modes. And when it comes to the picture, the 2022 model came with 10 picture modes listed right above me, 3 of them being HDR modes, with only 1 mode for HDR gaming. With the 2023 model, they've added 3 additional picture modes, giving us 13 total, but with a majority of them being different HDR gaming modes. For example, they have a specific HDR mode for first-person shooters, racing games, open-world RPGs, and sports games. In the demo footage I provided, NBA 2K was being displayed in HDR sports gaming mode. Mario Kart was displayed in regular RCG mode, which stands for racing game mode, since the Switch doesn't have HDR capabilities, while Gran Turismo was displayed in HDR racing mode. Elden Ring, Final Fantasy VII Remake, God of War, and Horizon Forbidden West were all displayed in HDR RPG mode. Now what's cool is when you change a game into a different mode, it doesn't just change the visual setting, but it also changes the audio setting, and it legit sounds better when you use the correct mode. For example, a revving engine in Gran Turismo or even Mario Kart sounds way better in racing mode than it does in sports, first-person shooter, or RPG mode. I appreciate that, and I can literally pause my game and not have to go back to the projector's main menu operating system, but I can actually change the game mode on the fly within seconds and then continue gaming. Further, you'll see in many of the games that I just mentioned, especially Ragnarok and Forbidden West, how good the HDR looks. Now, as far as input lag is concerned, the numbers pretty much stayed the same. The only reason why they listed differences here is because the new projector also has a 2K 1440p mode. Otherwise, the input lag milliseconds is completely identical, and that's not a bad thing because there's nothing to improve. As I mentioned, guys, I feel 0 input lag, and the TVs that I use and the gaming monitors that I use have little to no input lag at all. They're gaming TVs and gaming monitors. The fact that I can jump to a projector and feel no difference whatsoever tells you that the input lag is not an issue. So another feature that I appreciate with the new 3100i is that it now has Apple AirPlay as well as Google Cast. So on the last projector, it didn't have Apple AirPlay, and I personally use Apple AirPlay. I like to AirPlay different sporting events from my phone to my TV, so it's really cool that I can use that now on a projector. So that is something that I do appreciate. Lastly, Netflix subscribers, this one is for you. So the projector comes with a built-in Android TV operating system, which is a popular smart TV OS that you may already be familiar with. So of course, that means your projector is also a smart TV. However, each projector that I had bought the last few years was missing the Netflix app from the Android TV operating system. But now it's finally here. So for the first time, you can Netflix and chill with your projector, which is really cool. Stranger Things is going to look awesome on a 150-inch screen. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this review up and give you my final thoughts. So if you can't tell, I am seriously impressed by this projector and I do not regret my purchase. Over the past 20 years, I've been on a mission to find the perfect gaming projector. One that I could not just like, but love. And I'm seriously happy and relieved to say that this case can finally be closed. No longer do I have to purchase a gaming projector and hope that it does everything its propaganda claims it can do, only to end up having to return it and hope that I don't get charged an astronomical restocking fee, which that almost happened before, not naming names. If you're in the market for a gaming projector, this is the way. If you're not in the market for a gaming projector, but you might be after seeing this video, I don't think you will be disappointed one bit. This is without a doubt a very impressive piece of hardware, and it does carry a hefty price tag. But for what some projectors cost and for what you're getting, this is hands down the new king of gaming projectors. As always, guys, thank you all for tuning in to today's video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe as it helps me out a ton, and I hope you have a truly wonderful day. What's up, guys? If you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button as it helps me out a ton, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. Over here to the left, you can find all my social media info, or just remember to search for ThunderSteve85. As always, thank you guys for tuning in, and remember, you're never too old to play video games.